So you guys have just picked up the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. You've already invested some money on leveling up your camera setup for your YouTube setup, but you really have no idea how to properly set up the camera, properly set up your surrounding, and just get the most out of this camera specifically for shooting YouTube videos. Well, you guys are in luck because with over 6 years of professional filmmaking experience, I'm going to break down step by step on how to get the most out of this camera and have a professional and really beautiful looking YouTube setup. And just to give you guys an example of what you'll get from this video, this is what the camera looks like without any lighting or any professional setup. And this is what it will look like after watching this video and applying all of the steps that I show in this video. So without further ado, let's get into the settings, the perfect audio setup, the placement and the lighting that you need to apply to this camera. And to finish things off, we're going to bring you guys into DaVinci Resolve and show you how to color grade and edit the audio so that you guys will again get the most out of this very powerful and capable camera. Let's get right into it. So guys, first we need to talk about the settings of this camera. So in order to get the most out of this camera, you're first going to want to turn on the Pro mode, which you can do so by sliding over to the right and selecting Pro. Now, once you turn this camera onto Pro mode, you'll be able to edit things like the exposure, the white balance, the color profile, the focus mode, and some other adjustments that we won't really need to get into for this video. The most important setting that I want you to pay attention to in this realm is going to be the color. So we're actually going to switch the color from normal all the way to D-Log M. This will allow us to apply a LUT at the end of the video to get the most dynamic range out of this camera. The next thing I want you guys to do is swipe up on the Osmo Pocket 3. And I want you to move the resolution up to 4K and the frame rates down to 24 frames per second. This will allow you to shoot at the highest quality and at a frame rate that allows your image to look, let's just say, cinematic. Speaking about cinematic, if you guys want to get more info on how to just shoot straight up cinematic on this camera, I actually filmed a video a few months ago explaining all of that. And then the only last thing that I would do in terms of the setting is to make sure that you're shooting at the aspect ratio of 16:9. The only other things I would pay attention to is just to make sure that the focus mode is on continuous. So if you're going closer to the camera, or you're going farther back from the camera, it'll make sure to keep you in focus. And then yeah, just make sure that your exposure and white balance is set for auto. You could take this to another level, but if it's just going to be for YouTube and it's going to be in a controlled lighting setting, I wouldn't worry too much about those additional settings. Just keep it on auto. So now that we have gotten these settings out of the way, let's talk about audio. So guys, audio is going to be extremely important. And if you guys did buy the package that comes with the DJI mic, I highly recommend that you use this mic, not just the mic that is on the camera, because you will get significantly better audio quality. Another option is to buy a external mic and then record that separately to your computer, which you can actually do so directly into DaVinci and then link them up in post-production. I myself do use an external mic on my setup because it does make a big difference. For example, right now I'm using the audio from my camera, which is a Sony FX3, and then now I'm using the audio from my external mic, which is going to be the Shure SM7B. And as you guys can tell, it makes a big difference on the quality of the video because you guys can hear me a lot more clearly. It just sounds a lot better to the ear. Same thing applies with the Osmo Pocket 3. I highly recommend that you guys do use this mic. It's very easy. You literally just turn on the DJI mic and it will automatically turn on. It'll show you that it's been connected on the screen of the Osmo. And if it's not, you can just go online and watch a tutorial on how to re-sync them together. But yeah, guys, the audio on this thing is absolutely phenomenal for what it is. And again, make sure that you guys are using this audio or using an external audio source because it's just going to make your videos that much better. So now, guys, we're going to be talking about the most important part of this video, and that is going to be the setup, the placement that you guys are going to apply when using the Osmo Pocket 3. So guys, the Osmo Pocket 3 does come with a tripod, but you want to make sure that it's going to be level with you, okay? I would try to make it as close as possible to your eye level so that you get a really a good shot and a dynamic look. And if you don't have like a Gorilla Pod or another option to mount this thing to, I would just get a bunch of books or get a bag and just place the Osmo right on top of it to make sure that you're getting the correct level. The next very important part about placement is going to be making sure that you're sitting in the middle of the shot. So guys, we're using Annie here as an example, and as you guys can see, if she's sitting too far to the left or too far to the right, or the camera's not pointing at her correctly, it just doesn't look that good. So guys, it's extremely important to line yourself up properly in the middle of this camera. It doesn't matter what is behind you, but what does matter is that the subject is directly in the middle. This will significantly improve the look of the image. And now that we have gotten the placement out of the way, let's talk about my favorite part of this video, and that's going to be lighting. So guys, lighting can go as far as thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. I don't think that you need to spend thousands of dollars in order to get a very professional look, but let's just kind of go over a few things and a few recommendations that I have in order to get the most out of this lighting setup for your Osmo Pocket 3. First and foremost is going to be controlled lighting. So guys, I actually live in a loft. My studio is right next to a big window, which is a little bit of an inconvenience because I really can't shoot during the day if I want to control the lighting perfectly in my studio. So what I like to do is wait to shoot at night so that I can really come in and play with the light 100% myself. With that all being said, we're going to start off by lighting the scene up with a key light. So now when it comes to a key light, you have a few options, but if you want to take this as professional as possible, I recommend getting a, good strong key light for a couple $100. And then if you're a beginner to filmmaking, I would actually start out with a lantern softbox. So a lantern softbox opposed to a regular softbox is actually going to spread the light out, making it a lot easier when we're talking about placement of the light. It will probably look a little bit more cinematic if you use just a regular softbox, but the issue with using a regular softbox for somebody who is not deep in the film world is that you really have to get the angle of the light correctly. You have to make sure that it's exactly 45 degrees. You have to make sure that the lighting is perfect. And if you don't do all of these things, it's not going to look professional. When you use something like a lantern softbox, it really doesn't matter where you place it. You just try to place it behind the camera at a 45-degree angle, and you're gonna get some pretty good lighting on the face and on the subject. And then the last option we have for a key light, if you really don't have the money to buy a legitimate key light and a softbox, is you can get just a panel light, like a LumaCube. I'll put a link down in the description. But then again, with that key light, guys, just try to place it at a 45-degree angle right against the face. Now we could go as far as trying to balance out some of the shadows with getting a secondary light. But guys, again, I'm trying not to make this extremely complicated. I'm trying to remember that a lot of you guys are using an Osmo and this is your first time playing with lighting. So I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible for all you guys out there. We could go more in depth about lighting and how to light the scene up even better, but let's just keep it simple in terms of this video. So the next thing I do think is extremely important for this setup is going to be called practical lights or backlights. So specifically in my setup and my studio, I have 3 separate lights that are on right now, one of which is going to be just an LED light that I put orange behind my TV. One is going to be a blue light that I put behind my computer screens that are going on the wall. And then another is just going to be some lights that I left on purposefully in the background to help kind of light up the scene and allow it to have some depth and, good looks. And you guys can see that if I turn these lights off, you see a big difference. So please do not forget to put on these practical lights and these backlights because, guys, this will just add to the overall image. So now that we have gotten that out of the way, guys, let's talk about editing the image. Now, guys, we're going to be editing in DaVinci today because DaVinci is a free software. It's actually used by a lot of professionals. If you're not familiar with it, go check it out. Again, like I said, it's free and it is a professional editing software, but you can apply the same things that I'm about to go over in other softwares like Premiere or Final Cut Pro. And we're going to be doing that by first just placing the overall clip into the timeline and then applying a .cube file, a LUT, to the image because we did shoot this in log format. Now, luckily, guys, DJI actually provides a LUT for the Osmo. I'm actually going to put the link down in the description so you can download it directly from the DJI site. And that's what we're going to be applying to the image today. So as you guys can see, we're dropping it on to the overall image, and you can already see the difference. It's really bringing the actual image to life. And then in addition, we're just going to make another node and make some minor adjustments with the shadows and the highlights. Then if we want, we can play around with the saturation and the contrast. And then we can even go as far as adding some effects like halation or film grain to add like a cinematic look, but that is not 100% necessary. Again, to keep it simple, we're just going to apply that .cube file. And again, what that is doing is allowing us to really pull out the most out of the dynamic range that this camera has to offer. In addition, if you guys are going to be filming with an external microphone, you can actually select both of the clips in DaVinci, right click, and go ahead and sync them in post-production. Or if you guys were filming on the DJI mic, it will already be included in the audio on the DJI Osmo. And then what I like to do in DaVinci is just throw on a compressor and an EQ to get the most out of this microphone. Now guys, today we went over exactly how to really take advantage of creating a YouTube setup with the Osmo Pocket 3. If you guys want to learn more again about this cinematic aspect of this camera, I made another video. I'll put the link down in the description. It should pop up right now. And I go over 3 steps on how to really take advantage of the cinematic capabilities of this camera outside of the studio. And in addition, if you guys are looking to make money as a videographer, I have a course called creatorhead.io where I teach everybody the basic principles on how to go from making $0 to $10,000 per month as a videographer. Everything from outreach to clients, selling clients, sending out proposals, and of course collecting that paycheck. So if that's something you're interested in, I'll also put the link down in the description. The first 20 people that sign up will get 50% off. Just use the code JUD50. Other than that, if you guys have any other questions, please feel free to leave a comment down below. I'm happy to help, and good luck on your new ventures as YouTubers. I hope this video gave you guys some value, and I'm looking forward to seeing some of the videos that you guys create using the knowledge that you have gained from this video. Last but not least, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you guys are interested in videography content. And as always, guys, peace out.